After all that you have been through, and all that you have done, all that you have become, the Aetheran lies in front of you. Divinity is yours to take, or to sacrifice. What you do next decides your own fate, and the future of the world. What shall you do with divinity?
And so it ended. A tale that began with my own ill-fated attempt to rid the world of the Godwoken. The Eternals reclaimed the world. Dwarves, elves, lizards, and humans all became slaves, ruled over by the Sworn and the Eternals. Relics of the old world remained, but in time they crumbled and fell, like the memories of the peoples who had built them, lost to time like sand in the wind, but not lost to Fane. Fane would never forget. As for me, I was freed of one covenant only to be enslaved once more. But I am fortunate. I serve Master Fane now. My task? To chronicle the rise and fall of the Godwoken. This was their story. Master, I hope you approve.
Malady stands tall and proud, sunlight sparkling off her mask. From here she looks almost angelic.
Well, here we are again. You, me, and the ship I've saved from ruin for your personal benefit. I'd say you owe me. But I state the obvious. Get an eyeful. I expect it's the last we'll see of each other for some time. It isn't going to be easy cleaning up this mess you've made. It might not even be possible. I don't know how I could have been so wrong about you. I'm never wrong. The same way I do everything, of course. Demonic guile. Good thing I didn't do it just for you. What a waste that would have been. How boring. No thank you. You'll see, you little so-and-so. This isn't over. Until we meet again, all the best to you. Don't you have somewhere else to be?
The world as we know it will soon come to an end, and welcome an undead wasteland in its stead. The day will come when you realize your mistake, and on that day you will come crawling back to me in search of absolution. It will be the day we take up arms together once more. May it soon dawn. The world as we know it will soon come to an end, and welcome an undead wasteland in its stead.
You escaped an abominable prison and confronted the king of all gods, only in turn to confront divinity itself. A rather poetic arc, don't you think? Not that your story is finished, of course. Your divinity shines upon all who walk Rivellon. And there will be those that escape to the shadows. You must be ready to face them, whenever they might emerge. Now that I am clear of mind and free of intruders, I'm wondering if it isn't time to share my learnings with the less enlightened. And to that end, I have a few ideas worth considering. Once I've come to a conclusion, I promise you'll be the first to know. As a matter of fact, yes. Source makes for an excellent ally in matters of a demonic nature. Not only can Void seep through the veil, but the beasts of Nemesis might similarly slip out of their own plane. Whether you are clever enough of a divine to keep Damien's disciples confined to Nemesis, I can't say. But I think we'll know soon enough. And I suggest you be ready. Until we meet again, look away from the past and into the future. There is so much work left to do.
The flaming hatchling bounces and cheeps out of sheer excitement.
Daddy! Daddy! Looky at me!
It takes you a moment to realize the egg you've been carrying has hatched at long last. The chick trills contentedly and flaps its tiny feathers in recognition of its proud parent. It seems you've got a new mouth to feed.
Daddy! 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 Looky at me!
The chick's joyous flutters launch a few stray sparks into the air. It is elated by the very sight of its adopted father. Beast brushes detritus from his beard, sand, skin, and whatever else might have accumulated there. He doesn't acknowledge you as you approach. He only sings, slowly, achingly, sadly.
You e'er hear the wild beast just sails on the ocean, he's docked in the bay, coming your way, off and beyond you hear the commotion. He's docked in the bay, and coming your way. Your cupboard can't hide you, nor can your berth. His daggers don't care about the gold that you're worth. You'll bury your bones neath a mountain of earth. He's docked in the bay, and coming your way.
He pauses, then continues to hum, all the while working his whiskers. Beast hums a slow tune as you near, and holds his fingernails up to examine them. He does not wish to chat.
If I'd only known what would become of you back when I first laid eyes on you. This is a curious world we live in.
Her eyes flick down to your mouth. She smiles coyly, then slinks forward to kiss you. Her mouth meets yours and devours you with predatory abandon. Somewhere in the recesses of your mind, you think you hear her voice sigh, "Mine." But then the kiss ends.
Something to remember me by, darling.
Reform my ways. How adorable.
No, I'm afraid I cannot escape who I am and what I've done.
Her eyes flick down to your mouth. She smiles coyly, then slinks forward to kiss you. Her mouth meets yours and devours you with predatory abandon. Somewhere in the recesses of your mind, you think you hear her voice sigh, "Mine." But then the kiss ends.
Something to remember me by, darling. Who knows?
A nice cottage someplace quiet for Mahalia and I. A roaring fire and a feather bed. Maybe.
Maybe.
But a girl needs some fun, doesn't she?
Always so nice to have friends in high places. And your new position is about as lofty as they come.
Leave me alone, okay? Leave me alone, okay?
Lohse spits at your feet and stares at you with a curled lip.
can't believe I ever liked you. I can't believe I ever trusted you. I didn't escape one demon to serve another. You haven't seen the last of me, but you should wish you had.
As she turns from you, the whites of her eyes darken, the veins in her face go grey, and a wicked smile curls her mouth. Suddenly it's gone again. She winks, and you're left wondering whether you saw anything at all.
See you around.
Lohse glares as you pass, her mouth set to a frown. Tarquin looks like he's about to unleash a cutting remark for a moment, but he thinks better of it, and offers a slight bow instead. Tarquin looks like he's about to unleash a cutting remark for a moment, but he thinks better of it, and offers a slight bow instead.
All of this, Quercus, all of our struggle to save their stupid, bloody giant races, and this fool lets his Eternals trample across this world. We didn't rescue your barren land from the great Acorn to see it turned over to someone even worse than your damned people. I know, Quercus. I'm disappointed too. I thought we had found a true friend, but no. Come, we've lost our shield, but we still have each other.
Quercus hisses at you, lashing out with a claw. Silora ignores you, but gently pats his cat. Gareth bows as you near, but seems either unable or unwilling to speak.
The Eternals.
Gareth is still. For a moment his mind wanders to memories of friends and enemies, of malady and magisters, of demons and divinity. He is then present once more, though he speaks without a trace of emotion.
I eagerly await what comes. Amazing I'm still here. That we're still here. That Lucian... Well, that relationship always was complicated, wasn't it? You're so much like him. My instincts tell me to kneel to the new divine. I've done so before, after all. But I can't drive myself to do it again.
Gareth beams. For the first time, he is his own man. Yet his enthusiasm is not a man's, but a child's.
A friend, yes. That I know how to be.
For a moment, his mind wanders to memories of friends and enemies, of malady and magisters, of demons and divinity. He is then in the present once more, and smiles at you.
Friends. It has been an honor.
Sebille twirls her needle, her face set in a defiant scowl.
The void is open and the ancients rise. The sky, the water, the land, all of it diseased like rotting cattle flesh. And you dare wonder why I am angry?
She turns away, still toying with the needle. She has no more words to offer you. She stares out over the sparkling sea, a contemptuous sneer upon her lips.
Ah, you.
Ifan folds his arms and steps back from you, as if your presence is infectious.
I suppose this is proof I've got really bad taste in friends. After all that we've been through since Fort Joy, after all that, to end up with a tyrant once more, to settle for slavery and corruption over change.
He fixes you with a steely gaze, eyes burnished and shining like pebbles of hatred.
Your thanks are as hollow as your promises. I intend to spend the remainder of my days seeking to undo what you have done. It may not be possible, but when did that ever stop me before?
Ifan pauses, as if about to say something else, then shakes his head. With one last nod, he whistles up his soul wolf and lopes off. Ethan scowls at you, but says nothing further.
I await but your word, Master.
She is full of surprises. My wood was splintered, but my spirit intact. It was a great feat, but given her skill, not a surprising one. A shame I must be given life anew to know the pain ahead, a pain that will endure. As I was called to be, I am yours to command. My will is of no consequence, even as we sail into darkness. And so, as I must, I say, I am at the ready.
You look out to the endless beyond. The sun's light plays upon the waves, but you know it is not to last. The sails flutter in the wind, yet you know they are soon to still. And with a start, you realize where you must go next. You speak the command to the Lady Vengeance, and another chapter begins. And what of you? What of you, Fane the Eternal indeed? You were the key to it all. You set right the original wrong. And the seven were punished for their transgression. Are you proud of all you achieved? Or are you ashamed of your sins?